Hi friends, welcome to another Wolverine video. I'm not doing a live this time because I do not want to get distracted. Every time I do a live, I love you guys, but I end up losing my train of thought and just falling off the rails. And I wanted to make sure that you guys got the full picture of what's going on with me lately, so that you don't feel like you're missing out on anything, and also so that I don't seem like a squirrel. But I have quite a bit to talk to you about today because, as you know, it's been a while, and I wasn't gonna do this, and then I just, because I'm like in my pajamas and I'm not really like feeling it today, and then I thought, you know what, if I don't just start doing it, it's not gonna happen, so I should just do it. So that's what I'm doing. So where should we start? Let's start with my pain management situation and my surgery. So I had, as most of you know, I was diagnosed with hip dysplasia in March of 2022 after years of suffering from severe debilitating hip pain, and being told by doctor after doctor after doctor that there was nothing wrong with my hips and there was nothing they could do to help me. So I finally got a proper diagnosis from an amazing surgeon, Dr. Brian White in Denver. He is a labral reconstruction specialist, and he's the only one in the world that does the procedure that he does. And I was blessed enough to get in to see him in March, and he diagnosed me with hip dysplasia and just shredded labrums in both of my hips. So he does not fix the hip dysplasia, and I had to go to another surgeon for that and have a big procedure called a PAO, or a periacetabular osteotomy, which is where they make 3 cuts in your pelvis and move your acetabulum, the hip joint, over the femur so you get more coverage. Sorry if that's gruesome. So I had to go through that and labral reconstruction. So it was a series of 2 surgeries. The first one, the labral reconstruction, I also got my teres ligamentum reconstructed, and that surgery took about 7 hours. And then the PAO, periacetabular osteotomy, took about 3 hours. And they were separate surgeries, 11 days apart. I'm doing great. My right hip, which was my worst hip, is amazing now. It does not hurt like at all. I can walk on it no problem. It never dislocates ever. It never ever dislocates anymore, and it was dislocating upwards of 100 times a day. So that's amazing that that's better. And now my left hip is getting pretty bad. We still don't know if I need the periacetabular osteotomy on the left hip or not. So I am definitely having the labral reconstruction and teres ligamentum reconstruction, which basically they remove my labrum and they replace it with cadaver tissue, and then they build me a new teres ligamentous ligament with cadaver tissue. So at the end of it, I'll be made up of 5 people, myself and then 4 others, because I get 2 donor tissues for each hip. So that's kind of a fun, creepy fact. I will make sure to put a trigger warning on this video because I know some of you are squeamish. I am not, so sorry. So my next surgery is March 20th. As far as like recovery goes, my right hip is amazing. It's a total rock star. I'm so proud. Like, I'm so happy and like just so grateful that I found the surgeons that I did. Everything went beautifully. I haven't had any complications. The only thing that I did have is like a numb patch, and even that is starting to get feeling back. So we're doing great on the right side. I'm grateful, thankful. It's wonderful. Just keep envisioning that that keeps healing for me, and that because they say it takes about 1.5 years for it to heal fully. So all of the bones have bridged, which means it's good news. So the right side's great. Left side, March 20th, we're doing the labral reconstruction, teres reconstruction with Dr. Brian White in Denver. Oh, by the way, Dr. Presley Swan did my periacetabular osteotomy on the right side. If you have hip dysplasia and need a surgeon, he's your guy. He's the best. He's also in Denver. So after my surgery, after my first surgery, the surgery went beautifully, but I did have an issue happen in the PACU that I'll make a different video about because that's very triggering for people with medical trauma. It's not my doctor's fault. He did wonderful. But, you know, in the PACU after I had my surgery, there was an incident involving one of the nurses. So I will make another video about that because it's really traumatic and hard to talk about, and I don't want to get into it right now. Everything else went beautifully though. I am 6 months out, but I was fully off of crutches and walking with no support by 4 months. And then my left hip started to get bad. So now I'm back to using my wheelchair most of the time when I'm not at home. And I'm trying my best to keep my right side strong for when I do my left side so that I can use crutches and get around well enough, because it's really a weird balancing act that I'm doing right now, because my right side is so good, but my left side is so bad. So there's that. Pain management. So after surgery, both surgeries, they give you like 2 weeks of pain management meds. And then you got to go back to your regular pain management doc if you're on pain management, or you get off the meds. I went back to my regular pain management doc because I have chronic widespread pain in all of my joints and I can't live without pain management. So I went back to her and she was planning on leaving the practice anyway because she found a new job, and pain management is actually a really hard field to be in, because for a lot of people that don't know this is a trigger warning talking about unaliving yourself. A lot of people with chronic pain become unalive statistics. And when you work in pain management, you just happen to be close to those statistics. So she ended up seeing a lot of that, and she just couldn't handle anymore. So she was leaving the practice anyway. But what happened was she was supposed to leave the practice in February. And then on a Friday night, her patients all got an email saying that the clinic was under new ownership and not taking my insurance anymore, which is Medicaid, and they're not taking Medicare anymore either. And so all of the patients that were there on Medicaid and Medicare can no longer go there. So they told us on a Friday night, and she found out through her patients, which was really skeevy. So I had to scramble and figure out what to do for my pain management. Finding a good pain management doctor is almost impossible. It is such a nightmare. And finding a good doctor, period, that understands the widespread pain of EDS and like POTS and all the other things that come with it. And like, I look fine, but I'm not okay. The doctors that understand that are so few and far between, that it's a miracle that I found the one that I had, and I had her for so long. So she has moved on. We're staying in touch. We're friends. She's like my bestie, which is kind of sad, but it's kind of sweet at the same time. But the good news is that my primary care doctor, who is an absolute angel saint of a woman, is taking over my pain management. So I no longer have to go to pain management because my PCP is going to take care of it for me, which is unheard of and wonderful. I'm so relieved. I cried happy tears. It was a huge deal, because when I found out that I wasn't going to be able to see my pain management doctor, and I didn't have a month to find new care, I had a panic attack. It was really bad. So there's that. But my pain is pretty well controlled, and I'm taking Belbuca, which is an oral buprenorphine patch. It's not the same as Suboxone. It is not for addiction. It is specifically for pain, so there's not that stigma. But basically what it is it's just this little patch that dissolves in your mouth. And it gives, I'm on a 600 microgram dose. The max dose is like 900, I think. And they start you low and go up. And that's worked really well for me. And then for breakthrough pain, I have Norco 10 milligrams, and I take that every 6 hours. So that's for my pain. Then I take other meds for spasms and stuff. But right now we're doing really good with pain management, so I'm really happy to report that. And then let's see. So that's pain management and surgery covered. Oh, I got a new psychiatrist, which is great. So my anxiety has been really bad lately. And I have, for those of you that don't know, I have CPTSD, which is compound post-traumatic stress disorder. If you don't know about it, please do some research and educate yourself, because there's a lot you could do to help loved ones that have this disease. And it's a result of compounded trauma throughout my life. And so I have a lot of issues with anxiety. And I started seeing a new psychiatrist this week because I need to adjust my anxiety meds. Right now I take Buspar, which is amazing. And she said that she does not think that I have bipolar, even though that has been on my chart since I was 13. And the reason she gave is because there was no mention of my trauma at those appointments where I got diagnosed, because my parents were always present. So they diagnosed me bipolar, not knowing the traumatic history. She said that it's more likely psychotic breaks from PTSD, which I think fits. So there's that. And then she also thinks that I have undiagnosed and untreated ADHD. So we're going through the diagnostic procedure for that next week. And hopefully she will be able to find some meds that will help me focus and reduce my anxiety. She said that untreated ADHD can cause a lot of anxiety because your brain is always going and you have nowhere to put that energy. So she's going to try me on some meds and see how it goes. So that's all good. The most amazing thing about this woman, though, is I just came clean, you guys, and I told her, I was like, okay, so I have these experiences where please don't come for me. I don't like the words that people attach to whatever this is. I don't call myself that. I don't claim to have any kind of like control over anything or any kind of all-knowingness. But what I do experience is weird and it freaks me out, and I decided to tell my psychiatrist about it because I've never talked to a psychiatrist about it. Basically, when my son was born, I had a near-death experience, and that changed things. After that, things got really weird for me. And what I mean by weird is that I would get like images and stuff in my mind, and they would mean something like white roses, apology, this, that, or the other. And with those symbols, I realized that I was getting communications from the other side. And so I have done a couple of readings where like I felt like a total phony. I felt like I was completely faking it. But let me tell you a story, because it's something that I had to prove to myself to even say that this is happening, because I'm so not the kind of person to call myself like a psychic or a medium or anything. I do not like those words. I think there's a stigma attached to those words. I think that I don't have a title for what I am, and you can call me whatever you want, but I'm just myself. So let me tell you this story. And this has happened more than once, but this is my favorite story about it because it was so, it blindsided me. So I was doing a reading for a lady. She sent me a picture of a little boy, and she asked me, what do you get from this photo? Because like a lot of the times when I do a reading, I'll draw a tarot card. Another kind of reading I'll do is somebody will give me a picture of somebody that's passed away. I'll look at it and I'll garner information, and then I will receive a message and give it to them. So she sent me a picture of this kid, little kid. And I asked if it was her brother, and she said yes. And I said, did he die very young? And she said yes. And I said, was it some kind of accident? And she said yes. I mean, those are all kind of vague, right? So I was talking to her, and as I was talking to her and just kind of giving her the rundown of what information I was receiving, these images of knots kept popping into my mind just over and over and over and over again. Just like this kid would like tie a knot, hold it up and be like, this is a boatman's knot. And then he would tie another knot and be like, this is a hangman's noose, and like tie a knot. And this is a granny square, over and over again. Okay. I had no idea what knots had to do with anything. And it was kind of annoying because I was trying to like get to like the deep down issue of like, she's missing her brother and I want to help her heal. So I'm like looking for some profound message because I'm new at this, right? So what ended up happening is I told her, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the message from him, but he just keeps showing me knots. Like, I don't understand what this means or if it means something to you, but I just need to mention it so that we can move on. So I did. I mentioned it and we moved on. I finished up the reading with her and then said goodbye and everything else. And then the next day she messaged me and she said, okay, so I need to tell you this because I wasn't sure about telling you yesterday. I needed to process what I was feeling. Everything that you said yesterday was like really profound and meaningful, but I really need you to know something. You couldn't have known this, but my little brother passed away when he was 7 in an ATV accident. And I don't want to cry, you guys. I'm not going to cry. The Sunday before he died, he had earned his knot tying patch in Cub Scouts. And like, I couldn't have known. I didn't know. How could I know? This is a stranger on Reddit. You know, it's like on the internet, just some random person I don't know. And a picture I've never seen. And she just said, I needed to reach out and tell you this because I want you to know that what you're doing matters and that it's real and that you're helping. And thank you, you know. And she said that it helped her heal a lot just to know that he was around. And I mean, that's precious to me, you know, it's very precious to me. And the reason I tell you this whole story is because finally, for the first time in my life, I told my psychiatrist, my new psychiatrist, any psychiatrist, I've never said this to any psychiatrist, that I have these experiences. Okay. And God bless this woman. She's an absolute saint. And she said, I'm a woman of faith, and I've got to tell you that having spiritual gifts is completely separate from having psychiatric issues. So like, you do have PTSD, and that is a psychiatric and neurological issue, but that is real. And if you're experiencing that, I don't want to medicate it away. And then she said she would be intentionally vague in her notes so that I don't have to explain myself to the next psychiatrist that I go to, because she's leaving the practice in like June or July, and she said I can come with her to her new practice, which I'm really hoping I can do. But if not, she didn't want to put that in there so that I don't get the, oh, she's hallucinating, she's crazy, here's some medication. Now, listen, whether you believe in it or not is fine. I'm not here to prove it to you. I do not care what you think about what I do or don't do. I am just telling you an experience that I had, and experiences that I continue to have, and in the ways that I help people with it. Like I said, I don't claim to be a medium. I don't claim to be a psychic. It's just occasionally these things happen, and I say the words as they come. So please don't like come for me for that. I'm already like so self-conscious about even saying these things that it kind of feels like, I mean, not to diminish the experience of anybody who's LGBTQIA or anything like that, but it's like coming out. I feel like I'm coming out right now. Coming out is whatever, you know. I don't like the word psychic. I don't like the word medium. I don't like any of that. I would prefer maybe seer, but I don't really like that either. I just, if you need a word for it. Point being, my psychiatrist is amazing, and she did not diminish my experience or suggest medication or hospitalization and say that I was hallucinating. I told her the story about the little boy with the knots, and she got teary-eyed and said, I have goosebumps right now, and that's a beautiful thing, and I don't want to take that away from the world because we need that kind of healing. So it's such a relief to have a freaking psychiatrist listen to me and not judge and not say, oh wow, you're really crazy. So I don't have bipolar. I probably have ADHD that's not treated, and being a psychic is not a psychiatric disorder. Speaking of psychics, let's move on to some more fun topics, because I know like it's all like medical and like psychiatric. I just want to be honest about my journey in my life and where things are for me right now, because I think of my YouTube family as like my friends and family. Like, you guys are so precious to me, and I love you so much, and you show me so much support, even though I am the flakiest YouTuber in the history of YouTube. So I really, or if you're watching on Facebook, you know, wherever you're watching, like, I'm so flaky about this. So thank you for supporting me, even though I'm like almost never here. Y'all make me feel so good about myself, and like, you really helped me on my healing journey, and I just cherish you. So thank you for being here. Let's move on to some fun things though. So I, after like 20 years, have rediscovered my passion for reading, which is huge. I don't know what happened. I mean, I was in like some pretty bad situations after high school, and like I just kind of lost my passion for reading. And for the first time in like 20 years, I read the crap out of a book the other day. My husband took me to the bookstore, to Barnes & Noble, and bought me a book. It's called Dark and Shallow Lies by Jenny Meyer Sane. And what's funny is I literally just picked it up because of the cover. I thought it was pretty, and I'm like, I'm going to get this one. I'm very impulsive when it comes to book buying. And the funny thing is I'll read the blurb to you. This is an amazing book, by the way. Highly recommend. I read it in like 4 days. So it says, La Cachette, Louisiana is the worst place to be if you have something to hide. This tiny town where 17-year-old Grace spends her summers is the self-proclaimed psychic capital of the world. I did not read this cover before I bought the book. I just literally saw the front of it and took it home. And the place where Elora Pellerin, Gray's best friend, disappeared 6 months earlier. Gray can't believe that Elora vanished into thin air any more than she can believe that nobody in a town full of psychics knows what happened. But as she digs into the night that Elora went missing, she begins to realize that everybody in town is hiding something. Her grandmother, Honey, her childhood crush, Hart, and even her late mother, whose secrets continue to call to Gray from beyond the grave. When a mysterious stranger emerges from the bayou, a stormy-eyed boy with links to Elora and the town's bloody history, Gray realizes that La Cachette's past is far more present and dangerous than she'd ever understood. Suddenly, she doesn't know who she can trust. In a town where secrets lurk just below the surface, and where a murderer is on the loose, nobody can be presumed innocent, and La Cachette's dark and shallow lies may just rip the town apart. So let me tell you about this book, okay? I read it in like 4 days, like I said, and what I love about it is that I thought I knew who the villain was. I was wrong. And I am so good at like seeing in TV shows and books like where things are going. And so I really thought that I had it figured out. I did not. So I highly recommend reading this book. It is so good. So that's the book that I just finished reading. And then I went to the bookstore again and went hog wild and bought like so many books because my husband is the absolute best. He's trying to help me heal from my money trauma by letting me spoil myself rotten. So let me show you my book haul and show you what I'm reading. So I got Stephen King, Style. And this one I haven't read yet, but I read every book by Stephen King in high school until like 2005. And then I kind of stopped reading. So anything that he released after 2005, I haven't read yet. This one's from 2006. So I will do some kind of like book review on this when I read it. I'm not reading this one yet. I got this one in the bargain bin. It's Unsolved Mysteries, bizarre events that have puzzled the greatest minds. And this one I got because I thought it'd be fun for me and my son to discuss some of the world's greatest mysteries. And it's got like signals from outer space, strange places, crop circles. I mean, like all sorts of really cool mysteries. And it was like $10. I got this one, the Science and Symbols source book. And in here, it talks about like the symbolism of animals and like secret societies and plants, different like numbers, like just a really, oh, and like the illustrations are beautiful, but it just talks about different, like symbols, you know, like gemstone symbols or like actual written symbols. The tarot cards are in here. Like they talk about everything. This one I think was $20 in the bargain bin. And it's amazing. It's really heavy. It's like a really well-made book. So, and that's by Adele Nozadar. And that one's, I haven't really looked at it that much yet, but it's super exciting. And then I got this one also in the bargain bin. It's Voices of the Wind, Native American Legends by Margot Edmonds and Ella Clark. This is a compendium of Native American tales from all over North America. So it talks about stories from the Navajo, the Hopi, Chippewa, Cherokee, the Lakota. Like everybody is in here. Like not everybody, but a lot of stories. And they're all based on the oral traditions. They're collected with the help of the Smithsonian. So it's an accurate collection. This was only $10, which is a travesty because this is like an amazing, incredible source. I mean, I'm grateful that it was so accessible, but it should be more valued than that. So I got it so I could teach these stories to my children because it means a lot for me to do that. Oh, that's funny. I just opened to Raven's Great Adventure. I don't have a bookmark. I just happened to open there, so I'm going to have to read that one, I think. Okay, and then this is the book I'm currently reading. I just finished chapter 1. It's called All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue. And I'll just read the blurb to you guys. It says, Maeve Chambers will do almost anything for attention. So when she finds a dusty pack of tarot cards at school, she soaks up the celebrity that comes with giving eerily accurate readings to her classmates. There's one person whose attention she can't capture, though. Her former best friend, Lily O'Callahan, whom she betrayed last year in an act that still makes Maeve cringe. When Lily is finally goaded into sitting for a reading, she selects a card that shouldn't be there at all. 2 days later, she disappears. Consumed by guilt, Maeve teams up with the beautiful, sophisticated classmate Fiona and sexy, mysterious Ro, Lily's older sibling, trying to find her lost friend. But as the three combine their unnatural talents to bring Lily back, they must face the dark forces keeping her trapped before she's lost forever. Very cool. I really like the way this one is written. I, again, saw the cover and just grabbed it. So, but something that's really cool is that each one of the chapters has an illustration of a tarot card. So I thought it would be really fun every day that I read to look up the card and then just write it in my journal. I just thought that might be fun. So those are the books from my book haul. I also got my friend Debbie a gift, but I will wait. Well, no, so I will talk about it in another video because I haven't given it to her yet. So I'll let you know what she thinks. Next up is, what am I working on? I'm a knitter, you guys. I knit now. And I am making these socks for my son. So it's like a little ankle sock. It's a toe up ankle sock using Knit Pick Stroll in the colors Hummingbird and Orbit. Using 2.25 millimeter Knitter's Pride Carbons double pointed needles. And the cast on I used is a Turkish cast on. And then I did a heel flap and gusset. And then I'm just doing a rib stitch. So that's my first toe up sock. This is the first half of my second toe up sock. And I'm like really proud of myself because I literally thought that I would never learn how to knit. I never would have in my wildest dreams thought that I would learn how to knit. So very exciting. I'm very excited about it. Let's see. Excuse me while I take a sip of water. Okay. So other things going on with me right now is that I've been playing a lot of video games. I've especially been playing Fallout 4 with my husband. We got Xbox Cloud Gaming because I got a Backbone 1 phone controller for my birthday, and it came with Xbox Cloud or Xbox Gaming Online, whatever it's called. And Fallout 4 is on there. So I'm addicted and it's amazing. So we've been playing that. And otherwise, I've been mostly stuck in bed, honestly, because winter is so hard. And this winter in particular is horrible. It is so bad. I'm a little bit stressed out because I really have like 6 or 7 appointments I need to get into before surgery. And I only have like a month to do that. So that's kind of obnoxious. But otherwise, I'm doing pretty well. I'm just trying to like honor my need for rest and take care of my body and like stop telling myself I'm a lazy piece of for sleeping or resting, because my body needs rest. And right now my major focus is to just be kind to myself and give myself grace and realize that like I'm not worth any less because I don't move as much as other people. And that's kind of been a big lesson for me, is like I'm tired of feeling bad. I'm tired of feeling bad about myself. I deserve to enjoy life, which is why I bought these books, by the way. I grew up always being told that I cost too much, or that I spend too much money, or that I eat too much, or whatever. And I've always had this guilt thing about spending money on myself. Like if my kids need something or my husband needs something, no problem. I'll drop the money like that so quick. But if I need something or want something, I will debate about it forever, and then I just won't get it, even if it's something that I need, like face wash, for instance. You know, I will debate about it for months before I might finally buy it. So I am trying through exposure therapy without going broke to get comfortable spending money on things just for me. Like I buy yarn, but when I buy yarn, I buy it so that I can make stuff for other people. So it's not really for me, but like the books are just mine. And I'm trying really hard to like embrace the idea that it's okay to be generous to myself as well, because I feel like I am generous to other people a lot, but I'm not very kind to myself. And so I'm working really hard on that right now. That is my main goal in life, is to just love myself more and be kinder to myself and give myself grace, because I'm a really nice person. I'm a really caring person, and I have run myself ragged helping people my whole life. And I deserve to give myself the same love that I give everybody else. So that's where I'm at right now, emotionally and spiritually. And that's a heavy load. So if my body needs rest while we process all these emotions, that's what we're gonna do. I've been on almost a half hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and in this video upload the little intro, and then I'm gonna go take a nap, because if you can hear, I'm starting to get froggy. That is my I'm tired voice. So that's how I know I need to rest. But thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you being a part of my YouTube channel and all the love and support you guys send to me. I won't apologize for being a flaky YouTuber. I'm just going to say thank you for staying here for the sporadic posting that I do. And I hope that you guys are all doing well. Don't forget that you are all blessed, beautiful, beloved beings, and I'm so happy you exist. Be kind to yourselves and each other, and I'll see you guys in the next one, okay? Bye. Love you.